Hey guys, thank you for tuning into my podcast on this lovely night with the silhouette. I thought you would really love this look. So tonight we're going to talk about rising interest rates and why I'm so excited about rising interest rates. Why am I so excited? Because it's opportunity. Everyone was buying in 2020, 2021, right? The end of 2020. Everyone was in the market. Everyone was a real estate investor. When everyone's doing something, it really turns me off. It gets very difficult to pull a deal together that will do the right thing because there's so many people buying real estate that don't know what they're doing. They're misvaluing it and they're going to wind up in trouble, which actually we stand back and we watch because we know that we will be buyers of their real estate sooner or later. So we kind of stand back, we watch the mayhem happen, we pick up a deal or two, nothing crazy, not nearly our average buying volume. So when everyone's doing it, we slow down, we watch, we go through deals, we do beat our head against the wall quite a bit. But you know what? Now's the time. Opportunity has presented itself. Why is it so good buying real estate in high interest rates? One, which I'm blown away about, the buying pool is so much smaller. So many people have gone and disappeared, probably because they're hiding in a corner wondering what the hell they're going to do when their floating interest rate debt puts them out of business. So floating interest rate debt means they got into this real estate hoping and praying that interest rates will not go up. And when you get into floating rate debt, that means the interest rate of your loan is able to move over the course of time. So when you get into fixed rate debt, that debt is fixed for the term of the loan. There are a lot of investors out there who are going to be in trouble. We wouldn't get ourselves into that position. I don't get into floating rate debt. I'm not interested in it. We really have to be careful with our investors' money. I would much prefer to make a little bit less sure than the potential to make a little bit more unsure. I need to sleep at night. I love my good night's sleep. I need my good night's sleep. I can't operate without a good night's sleep. And if I get stuck in a position where my investors' money is in trouble, I'm not going to be able to sleep at all. So now is when opportunity comes. People are going to be in trouble naturally. That's not part of our equation, but hey, if you're in trouble, we'll be here to help you. We'll buy your asset from you. But the buying pool is so much smaller now, and there's so many people who are nervous. They don't want to buy, but now is the time to buy. They were buying when I was nervous. I was nervous when the interest rates were super low. You know what? I'm not interested in buying stuff when the interest rates are at the floor. You want to know why? Because then that leaves me no wiggle room. I'm almost certain that I will be selling in a worse off interest rate market. When it comes time to sell, if I'm buying at the bottom, there's a very small chance that I'm going to sell at that bottom or lower. It leaves me no room. The only chance I have of when I sell that asset is the person who's purchasing it from me will be buying it at a higher interest rate, which ruins my value. So now we're getting into these assets in an interest rate that has room to move up or down, right? It could always go up, but now that we're borrowing at 7-ish%, mid sixes, sevens, we have an opportunity that for the interest rate to come down. So what does that mean? Okay, let's go through quickly where the value we find in assets and how we create value. The first thing is a value add through bringing rents up to market. So we look for example, we'll look for an asset that's renting at $850 average rents over the course of the portfolio. So what we like to do is we like to just take the average rent. So it's one number, it's easy for us to understand. So if you have 100 units and half of them are rented for $700, half of them are rented for $800, okay, we have an average rent of $750. Okay, so one number, $750. Average rents are $750. We want to know what the market rate of those rents are, $1,100. Wow, we have a really good spread there. How do we get our rents up is the second question. So do we have to do work to the apartments? Do we have to do no work to the apartments? Do we just have to clean up the lawn and freshen the pool up? What do we have to do? But that's a point of attack for us. We want to make sure when we go in that we could raise rents one way or another. And then we want to see how difficult it's going to be to raise the rents. Did they do nothing to the asset for the last 30 years? Well, that's a problem, and that's going to require a tremendous amount of capital, and we have to account for it. Then the second way that we know that the value of the asset will appreciate over time is through regular annual rent increases. So you get your 3 or 4%. There are some markets where if you do a lot of research, you're going to find markets that are going to grow faster than that, where jobs are headed, where companies are spending billions. You want to find areas that companies are spending high millions or billions of dollars. They exist. There's a lot of companies making a lot of moves right now. And in these areas, your rent growth will be higher than the 3 or 4%. But just for the sake of being conservative in our underwriting, we'll always mark 3 or 4%. We don't go crazy. We don't bet on 6, 10% rent hikes. I've seen people do that on their underwriting. Underwriting is a very funny thing. Essentially, I can make an asset look any way I want with underwriting. So when you're getting involved in a real estate syndication and you're investing with somebody, you have to make sure that they're very conservative by nature. If you think you're getting involved with a cowboy, there's a good chance you are, and you should probably stay away from it. So we just went through the way we like to see our properties appreciate are through forced appreciation. That's through us raising rents by doing a little bit of work or bringing the rents up to market, whatever we have to do. And then 2 would be rents go up over time naturally, 3 or 4% a year. The value of the property goes up, and expenses should trail behind rent increases. So if the rent goes up 4% a year, expenses probably trail in the 3% range. So then that's a percent increase that we get every year on the NOI. NOI is net operating income. That's what the property brings in minus the expenses. So the third way where we could make money on the appreciation of an asset, us on our investors, is through cap rate constriction. Cap rates coming down. How will cap rates come down? One large effect on cap rates is interest rates. If interest rates come down, cap rates come down. If interest rates go up, cap rates tick up by a little bit, but it happens. So if we buy in a higher interest rate market, we are able to potentially take advantage of selling in a lower interest rate market. But if we purchase in a low interest rate market, the chances of it going even lower, we're essentially almost guaranteed that we're going to be selling in a worse interest rate market. So we're going to lose value there. If we purchase in an interest rate market 6 or 7% and it goes down, we're golden. If it goes up, well, you know what? We just hold. So we're in a position where we could hold the asset because we have fixed rate debt. If interest rate goes up over time, we hold. We tell our investors, guys, it's not a good time to sell. We will continue to cash flow with this asset. And when interest rates relax, we will become sellers again. But that's the great thing about real estate is time is on your side. If you get caught up in a position where you took floating rate debt out, where the rate is able to float over time, you could be in a really bad position, man. Do not mess with your investors' money like that. Like I said before, I would much rather make less money surely than more money unsurely. So we really need to protect our investors' money, and we do that through fixed rate debt. We know what it's going to be. So we are super excited at this rising interest rate market. We are super excited that the buying pool is now smaller. We are super excited that not everyone and their mother is looking into multifamily real estate. This is presenting a wonderful, grand opportunity for us. We will grow a tremendous amount of wealth in this time. We're super excited for you to come along the journey with us, and we're super happy that you tuned into this podcast. So if you have any questions about interest rates, send me an email, check out the website, find me on social, anything, you can get in contact with me. I'd be glad to start up a conversation with you, and we'll speak to you soon.